Normally I get up and I actually check my cell phone, which I know you're not supposed to do. Don't set your day off on the wrong foot, whatever the case is. My kid stole my charger, so I tried to use a different charger, and I thought it was charging all night, and it was dead this morning. So I've got that up on the charger for the last 5 to 10 minutes. I've got to play some musical cars, and then we're on our way. So I don't know if you can see these, but all of my neighbors' driveways have no snow in them. Mine has nothing but ice. Sometimes I run out of time and I get a little bit lazy, so I didn't plow when the snow fell, partially because my snow plow has a flat tire and I got to bring that in. So future fix. Who says that insurance agents don't have real home life problems? A couple years from now, I'll be able to afford to hire someone to just come plow it every day when it snows, but until then, I got to do it myself. So the first thing I do is I pick out the YouTube video that I want to hear or listen to on the way to work, and then I'll listen to something that is informational or helpful as I drive my 12 to 15 minute drive.
I have done a ton of content in the past on my podcast, here on this channel, just like on Instagram, about how I theme my days.
Thanks that I'm early, because it is 8:24, and we technically don't start till 9. We try to show up about 8:30, but Johnny's already here, so I'm late. I'm coming into work, and then Tracy's sitting there. Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ready for the day. Johnny.
What's up?
So Mondays are kind of like, let's see if I can adjust this here. Are kind of like an editing day or a content day. I have hair in my mouth. So typically I'll start up, I'm going to check my email, kind of see what's going on in the world of the insurance world. If there's any follow-ups. Since Devin's on vacation, I have to follow up with a couple quotes that he's working on and start doing some quotes there. But then I've got to do some editing on a podcast that we just did, or a video cast that we did with a realtor. So we've got to kind of edit that, put it together. The person also had a major claim, so we did a interview on that. It's like a $400,000 claim with our previous insurance. So we're gonna show just kind of the process and show people like what all is entailed in that. Email clear. So the next thing I got to work on is I got to do a quote for Devin because he's out, and one of the COIs that he works with needs a quote. So I'm gonna work on that. 2,500 square foot. It's actually 1,500 after you map it out. Roof is in decent shape. I know they're not gonna like the trees overhanging. Hey Jared, this is Mark Flockhart with Valor Insurance. How are you today? I'm doing good. I'm calling on behalf, I think you were speaking with Devin. Has he reached out to you yet? Okay. Well, he wanted me to give you a call. He's in Disney World, being lazy. Right? So He's like, here's a whole bunch of work to do. I'm leaving at Disney World. But he got everything done on your, I don't know if he had sent it to you, but he wanted me to give you a call and just kind of touch base with you just to see if you had any questions and maybe go over some of it if you had a second. Yeah, he did. It looks like he did Progressive for the auto and the motorcycle. And then he did Nationwide for the home. Yeah, I noticed him too when he sent me a copy of what you had sent him, and I was looking, I was like, oh crud. I was like, he's buying a nice house, but he's got no coverage on his car. They're just gonna go after his house. So I don't know if you noticed this, but your current policy you have, I think you're with Progressive, is just the bare bones state minimums. So you've got the biggest concern, and there's a few of them, is the amount of property damage that you have. So let's say you got in a car accident tomorrow and you hit a decent SUV or a good used BMW, whatever the case was. Let's say it's $35,000 damage. You have to come up with $10,000 because your current policy only has $25,000 coverage for property. Going into home ownership, you're essentially, the way insurance should look is, obviously we don't want to pay any more than we have to, but we want to have it so if somebody was to go after you for any coverage or any reason, we want them to go after your insurance, not you, right? We want you to keep the house, you to keep your income, all of that, but not pay, but keep the price as low as we can. That's kind of the goal of everybody. Well, on the auto side specifically, the state minimums, you're only covered for $50,000 per person, which is pretty low. If one person spent a weekend in a hospital, the odds are they're gonna go after you. Right, so he bumped those up, which makes sense. And honestly, it's not expensive to raise those. So even going to the next couple levels up isn't really going to cost you much, if anything. And then uninsured motorist, if you were in the car, if you had friends or family that were visiting, whatever the case was, you currently don't have any uninsured motorist. So that protects you if someone were to hit you that had no insurance, or if they had less insurance than you because you're going to carry the higher limits, then it would pick up the difference between them. He changed your deductible because he said that you're at $1,000 deductible now. He lowered it down to $500, so you wouldn't have to come out of pocket the whole $1,000 if you had an accident. If you did it that way, it's up to you if you do that. You don't have to go that route. So the main things he did was raise the bodily injury. So instead of being $50,000 per person, you're up to $250,000 per person. That was the main thing. And then instead of you having to come up with $1,000 out of pocket, this would only require you to come up with $500 out of pocket if you had an accident. That one was $193.21 was the monthly cost for that one. The house, did he go over the house with you? Okay. So main thing on that, you got the $284,000. That's really just if something were to happen, kitchen caught fire, things like that. It looks like he's got $90,000 on the other structures, which is, I was looking at the photos. That makes sense because you got the different shed and the pole barn and everything like that. Personal property, he's got that. You got the $500,000 liability. That's good if someone were to go after you or sue you. You've got the kind of the same protection you have on the auto you have on the home, right? So you've got protection there. He gave you water backup, which is something I always do. So if you do have a pipe that, well, not a pipe, let's say the sink overflowed or the toilet overflowed, most people don't realize it's not covered on insurance. So you've got $10,000 coverage on that. This is, let's see, you just divide it by 12, so it's $1,784. It's actually less than I thought it would be. It's $148 and like 71 cents would be the monthly payment. Nope, and I'm assuming you're probably doing like an escrow through the mortgage. Okay, so then you won't have to do anything on that end. What they'll do is once we get the clear date to close, we'll submit this to the mortgage company, and then they'll just take care of it and put it into the escrow. So, any questions on any of it that you have? Yeah, and the nice part is, as you learn more, one of the things you'll learn is insurance is like, it's like gas prices. They bounce around, right? They're up and down. If down the road, let's say 5 years from now or whatever the case is, that Nationwide decides to follow suit with some of these other companies and is like, our prices are going to double. Well, just call Devin. Be like, hey, it went up. Then he goes back to the drawing board and he checks Allstate, Nationwide, Progressive, Safeco, like a ton of those companies. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people don't realize that you could do it yourself, but you pay the same price. So it's kind of like when you go shopping for a house, why not get a realtor? Because it doesn't cost you anything. As far as the car, I don't have to collect it now if you don't have it, but do you have the payment information you want for the car and the motorcycle? Awesome. Well, congratulations. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll be here if you just are curious on any of it. No problem. Have a great one. Got everything cleared away. It looks like I did talk to him at some point. Went over some of the coverages. He already knew most of them. Explained some of the benefits because he's not currently insured correctly. He's missing a ton of coverages. Got that all squared away. Took the payment for the future date, and then I'll let Devin, when he comes back, fill that out and finalize that. So it looks like the 7th of the month he's going to start his auto and motorcycle, and then we're going to get the closing date. We'll just build the escrow account, and it'll be clear and done. Okay, it's 9:30. We got pretty much everything done as far as the catch-up, the emails. So it took me about an hour to go through, talk to a customer, all the things. Got those done. I really want to get into more of doing this type of stuff where it's like the success and like writing out my day. I'm actually making a content piece that I'll be able to share with you guys that you guys can use, but it's kind of like a checklist, the day of here's what my main focuses are today. Here's the checks off of what I do on a conversation, things like that. Things that I'm working on, trying to improve on. I've got to bind a policy for Devin, and then I have to work on our Go High Level because I have to create the map and then load the calls in for tomorrow. I'm going to focus on the social media part. I've got to edit a video, and then we'll touch base here in just a second. So I'm on hold with one of the carrier's websites because they're having a system error. Can't take a payment on a policy. So we're trying to talk to the IT department, see if we can process the payment. Hey Nathan, this is Mark Flockhart with Valor Insurance. How are you today? Doing well. Well, as well as I can. I can't get a payment to process. I'm trying to bind a new policy, and it keeps coming back with this error 921. It says that there's a system error. So the IT guy's remote logging into my computer and trying to see if he can get it fixed. Oh, please. Okay, I think we're good. It says successfully set up. Thanks, Nate. Have a great one. Okay, so that was a headache. Had to put it as manual pay, submit the payment afterwards. Done and done. So with us, it's a little bit different. So when we submit a policy, we're not your run-of-the-mill agency where we just want to just submit it and walk away, which a lot of people do. Some people can and will do. What we'll do is we'll do what's called a BMB, a binder new business, and we're going to go ahead and set up just what we did, and we'll download our own documents, get our own signatures, keep our own files. It's a little bit more work. It's probably an extra 15 minutes of work in addition to. This normally doesn't take an hour to process, but in this case, because of this, the errors, we want to make sure we're submitting it correctly. Okay, so we've got all this. I'm going to do the B&B. I've got to go get some coffee. I need some more energy. I'm trying to get another photo here. So there's a lot happening today. Today's not a little busier than normal. Like I said, my partner's on vacation, so I'm kind of handling this. I also have another client that was a canceled policy that we need to possibly rewrite. So I've got to reach out to them and find out what they want to do. If they want to continue with us. From what I understand, I think they do, but I got to find out. Just to show you if you're curious what it looks like. My camera's dying, so I'll try to show you here. So this is essentially what our B&Bs are. So we have like the company it's with, the policy number, the premium, the limits of liability. So we double check everything. If we're doing the home, we have to have photos of the home. If we have prior, we need to either snippet it from the company or get a copy of their deck page. So just trying to make sure we're covering all of our bases as far as like the data that we collect. That way, if we get audited for some reason, we've got at least all of the information that we need. So I'm going to quickly fill this out and get this out of the way. Holy crap. Holy crap, today's busy. Alright. It's 1:14. If I don't step away from this computer and go get lunch. So this is the good thing. Like, this is actually, I enjoy having the busyness because this means things are happening. Customers are with you. They want your advice, things like that. So sometimes you got to call the underwriter, figure out some situations. So far, I'm working on a super hard quote. We've quoted them through Allstate. We've quoted them through Nationwide. We've quoted them through Safeco. Safeco's crushing the auto, but the home is drastically higher if we take the auto away. So it kind of mashes out the multi-policy discount. So I'm going to run through another company called Encompass. Try to see if we can get them a better deal through them. Probably 2 hours of my day has been is trying to find this fit, and it's a little bit deeper than I normally go, but it's a referral. It's a good client. Guy's looking to do something. It's pretty much a lock if we can get the price correct. But we've got to get everything to mix together. Even my Allstate compared to their Allstate is more expensive. For some reason, the old Allstate, it doesn't have the right coverage in the first place. So we want to get the coverage correct and try to fix it. That's basically the day. It's about 6:13 p.m. A few hours have gone by since we kind of last got connected. And I still haven't even touched any of the social media stuff that I was supposed to do today. Great things are happening there, but there's just a lot happening. We got a new lead coming in. I was able to bind a policy. I had to fix an email and resend some documents out. So there's a lot of like admin work that were happening today. So I'm gonna work on this, see if I can get this going, and I'll let you guys know what I come up with or what I find. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up my day. Didn't get a whole lot of distance that I wanted to get. Never got to the social media. I never got to do the shorts. There's actually a plan. I'll make another video that I'm going to actually do a strategy and kind of mimic a channel that I like, that I think is going to be popular in our industry from a different industry. So if you guys have questions, leave in the comments below. Hopefully tomorrow will be a way better success. We spent a lot of time working. It's about 7:34. There's a lot left to be done. I'll see you soon.